Hello boaters, welcome to Narrowboat Journeys. We're on the Macclesfield canal and I'm starting this trip from close to the top of the Bosley Lock flight where I left off at the last video, and in this video we'll be travelling on towards Macclesfield. We're not going that all the way, but on the way we'll have to go through an electric swing bridge. So let's have a quick look at the map. So we're starting where the yellow marker is, down at the bottom of the map, and moving on up to the yellow marker near the top of the map. Quite simple really. So here's an animated view of our trip. I'm still learning how to do this, but I'm getting the hang of it gradually. From this point onwards, the canal runs really quite close to a busy main road, so although you can't see an awful lot of it, it is actually quite noisy, so not the nicest place to stop. And here's the dreaded electric swing bridge. It actually turned out not to be too bad after all really, but we'll show you that later. And then carrying on, there's the Sutton Reservoir and the feeder channel in orange, which also supplies the Macclesfield Canal with water. So off we go. Well, that poor boat looks like it's seen better days. Always a sad sight to see, but I suppose it happens to all of them in the end. It's really pretty down here. Over to the right we've got like a wooded hillside, and on the left there's a deep valley which is really pretty, but the vegetation alongside the towpath is so thick that you really can't see it unless you're walking along the towpath and you can manage to find a little gap you can look through. Most of it's hidden. But it's a lovely place. It gets a bit noisier later on because we get close to the road. That house is for sale if you're interested. It's got lovely views over the valley, but the busy main road that I mentioned earlier is behind the house and up a bit higher on the hillside. It's quite a noisy spot. I wouldn't like to live there. This has been an early morning trip. The electric swing bridge is just around the corner, just past that boat. I'm going to stop here and wait, probably go through this evening when hopefully the roads and the traffic has quietened down a little bit. So, until then... So off we go again. It's evening now, about 7 p.m. Believe it or not, the traffic has quietened down a little bit. I have to admit, I was finding the prospect of doing this electric swing bridge a little bit daunting. Not because of the operation of it, it's really quite simple and easy to operate, but because it's so close to that busy main road, you always get a lot of traffic building up, and I hate holding up all the traffic. Here's an aerial view, look. You can see how close we are to the road, and that little lane going across that swing bridge there is a bit of a rat run to the local village. It's always, every time I've been through here in the past, it's always been loads of cars piling up there. As I said though, it is easy to operate. You will need your waterways key to operate the machinery, and I'm going to show you the whole passage through it in real time without any edits, so you'll get an idea of how long it took me to go through on my own. That's the problem with doing this on your own, is it's more faffing around. You've got to do two things at once basically. It would certainly be easier with another crew member. Right, that's the boat stopped and loosely tied up. Now I got to go and operate the bridge. I didn't video this little bit because there's a control panel on the other side of the bridge. You put your key in it and turn it, and then you have various buttons to press to operate the machinery. Very simple. The annoying thing though is that there's like about a 20-second delay. It's lowered the barrier now, and then there's a delay. I'm pressing the button to open the bridge, but there's about a 20-second delay before it actually moves, which is really annoying. Because already cars are actually starting to build up on the left side as well. Two very impressive looking cars actually. They were quite happy to watch what I was doing, and I'll show you those as we go by. Well, that's the bridge open. Now I've got to cross that footbridge at the top of the screen there to get back over to the other side. This is the point where I dread having something like an ambulance or a fire engine with sirens blaring turning up at the bridge. That would be the worst thing that could happen, I reckon. At this point there were several cars waiting to cross over the bridge. I'll show you the two posh cars though, they were really nice. And then I just remembered to turn the camera around just in time. Look at those. I'd attached a mooring hook onto the centre line of my boat so that I could very quickly just hook the boat up to the metal piling on the other side. That's the fastest way to stop it, whilst I can go back then and close the bridge. I expect all this rope pulling in order to stop the boat is probably what causes my bad back a lot of the time. I quite often pull muscles in my lower back. But it's sort of easier to stop it than in reverse. My boat's reverse gear is very, very slow, and it doesn't respond very quickly. So now I dash back. There's 4 cars waiting now to cross over the bridge. Well, that's the bridge closed, and in a moment the barriers will go up. Here we have that annoying delay again. I don't know why they do that, but you can't remove your key from the machine until everything is back to normal. When you've actually turned the machine off, then you can get your key out. Don't forget to take your key with you, of course. The barriers are going up, and watch the cars going across. And there we have it, the Royal Oak Swing Bridge successfully navigated. Passage through obstacles like this on the canal can be greatly aided or hampered by other boats turning up. It all depends on how it works out, but it can be a real blessing or a real nuisance. So sometimes it's easier just to go through on your own when it's nice and quiet. If you cross this footbridge over to the right, you walk across the main road, and then you can go up to the Sutton Reservoir, which feeds the canal, and you can just walk all the way around it. It's quite a pleasant walk. Got a nice little place. I think a lot of visitors probably miss that. Here are more remains of an old swing bridge. Lots of these on the Macclesfield Canal. Perhaps these cyclists are proof that I'm becoming famous, because one of them was very happily videoing me as I was going by. I did tell him at one point to have a look on Narrowboat Journeys. I want, if you're watching this, drop me a message.
Just taking a show, okay? Just to show it to my daughter.
I wonder if he'll ever see this video. You may have noticed from the soundtrack that we're now drifting away from the busy main road. It's getting a lot quieter, so that's always the places I prefer to moor up. I'm just looking somewhere nice to stop now. And this looks ideal. It's in the shade now, but during the day it does get quite a bit of sunshine, and over to the right is a big open field with lots of sheep in it. So this is quite a nice little place to stop. Don't worry, you'll see the cats in a moment. I've just got to moor up first. I've got tyres on ropes which I hang down between the boat and the bank. That cushions it quite nicely. And because we've got metal piling here, I will use mooring hooks for the ropes. Saves banging in spikes. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this trip. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.